Gracias.
Chris, well, welcome back. Welcome back. How long has it been? Yeah, we've been recording.
Oh,
yeah.
shit.
yeah. Welcome back. It's been
Thank you. It's been
a couple months.
Yeah, I don't know if this is the third time I've been here.
It's the fourth.
Fourth
nah,
time,
yeah.
I think,
Somebody's.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's been a couple of months though. I haven't been.
Yeah, pero Simon, can you tell what was the difference between now and then? Are you able to tell a little bit more difference? I don't think I had that set up before, right?
Nah, the screen is different.
Yeah.
No, you did have a screen, but I feel like this one's got a better image.
Yeah, the screen is the same. No más que this. I don't think I had this before.
No, you didn't have that.
Yeah.
We had the original audio one.
Right. Yeah, that stayed the same.
And then I don't know. I feel like the audio way, whatever you put into the audio, it sounds crisp. It sounds good.
Oh, really? Maybe it's been that. Maybe it's been that long, right? Because I haven't messed with the audio.
Really?
Yeah.
No, I feel like it's the pitch, the tone, everything's good. It's crisp. Yeah.
Nice.
I think the screen is different. Last time I came, you had the new cameras installed, the different angles. I remember that. But I think the screen and that.
Yeah, and then this camera is new too.
Whatever you did with that, that's different.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that one's new.
Yeah.
But I remember that one.
Similar.
And then that one.
Yeah. Oh, another thing too.
Didn't you had a smaller one?
Yeah.
No, like the little.
Yeah.
It's like the little camera.
Right. So now I have the same type of camera, but like in the middle of the studio. Mm-hmm. And what's different now, maybe like I even forgot about it, that the cameras don't shut off no more. Like they just continue running.
Yeah, because I remember they used to blink, turn off.
Yeah.
Y luego, espérate, güey, let's turn them off.
Yeah. So no paran, güey. Yeah, I think I've gone like 2 hours or whatever.
Nonstop.
Nonstop, güey.
Damn, you catch all the content now.
Yeah.
But it's more editing.
No, it's less editing, güey.
Why?
Or why would you think it's more editing?
Because you stop and then you're missing, by the time you hit record again, that's like, what, 2-3 minutes of footage that you don't even have to review. No?
No.
Or is it more work for you because it stops and it goes, it stops and it goes?
Yeah, because that means I would have a gap of editing.
Uh-huh.
So now I have to go look for that section and like just add footage over it. If not, it would be black. Okay. And now with this, it's just like I know there's
it's footage and audio. Together.
Everything's captured throughout the whole thing, so makes it a lot easier. But like I always dream of the setup way of just having like just pressing one button and all freaking 3 cameras be recording.
Fuck.
Crazy, way. Just one button, and everything's up and running.
Good.
Yeah.
The chingón way.
Yeah, and then I have this on the.
Oh, you've come a long way from.
Yeah.
A little camera over there with the little earphones.
Yeah.
It's a good way.
I always wanted this setup. I always wanted this setup. Just one button or like record everything. Camera's not shutting off. Okay. Having the freaking tablet in case we need to pull something up. Like, hey, like fact check it or whatever the case is, or react to a video. Oh. Okay. And just fuck, I love it. Yeah.
Trial and error, no?
Yeah, big time.
How long has the podcast been up? No,
like a year and maybe almost a year and a half, maybe.
A year and a half.
A year and a couple months for sure.
You gotta keep making it better.
Yeah.
Do you think you're at where you wanted it to be as far as like the investment and how you wanted the setup and everything to go, or do you still want to like tweak it up more?
Okay, so that's something that I feel like I think on the last podcast I was talking to Daniel and I mentioned that this is kind of like my toy. This is like my hobby. Maybe similar to you, that you're into like the Baja 500 and all that stuff. Yeah. And you always want to like upgrade your truck or tweak it a little bit or add new lights here and there. For me, this is it, way. For me, oh fuck.
Yeah, it's your passion, your hobby, way. Like whatever you put into it, ni te duele.
Yeah, exactly.
You just want to make it better.
Right. Por ejemplo, ahorita tengo el projector, way, which I love the projector, but at times I'm like, fuck, instead of the projector, I want to have a TV, like a mounted TV just for better crisp picture or whatever, but I don't need it. Like I told Chelo, like I'm just going to wait until this thing burns out.
Did we ever talk about the white the white roller screen?
Yeah, yeah.
But you don't want that
either. Siento que ya tengo un chingo de cosas colgando aquí. So
yeah.
It'll be just like more, but which I still have it, but I don't want to bring it in.
Nah, it was gonna mess up the wall.
Yeah.
The wall's good.
Yeah. But yeah, at the end of the day, I just wanted to have like, I don't know. I feel like it's good now. I to my point of view, it's perfect to what I have now. Like the setup is perfect. Obviously, of course, I want to do more upgrades and things like that, and I wish I had a bigger studio. But to what I have now, it's just like I always wanted this setup. Always.
You need a city permit now for it.
Another one.
Another one.
Yeah. But yeah, and that's, I think you just said something very like key. De que trial and error and and that comes with everything in life.
With everything.
Which kind of almost brought up the reason why I wanted to do this episode. Aside from almost being Father's Day this weekend, that's part of life.
Aside from you almost being a father,
and that's another thing too. That's another thing too. That I'm almost gonna be a dad. Like who knows if maybe we have the baby before Father's Day,
right?
Because it's only a matter of time now.
I mean, you're already a father,
Yeah,
you're already a father. It's just it hasn't been delivered, but you already are.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Ahorita que entraste, miraste ya la carriola ahí. We're quote unquote ready, güey.
Yeah. Good. Yeah. As you should be, porque ya estás, what is it, 2 weeks, 3 weeks shy?
Yeah,
2 weeks,
about
right?
2 weeks.
About 2 weeks. So it could be any day.
Yeah. Technically, the due date is on the 21st.
21st, okay.
Yeah, but honestly, you never know. It's give or take.
Yeah. Are you nervous?
Nah. I feel like, and ¿sabes qué, güey? This is something else too. I think about it, right? Because myself and Chelo, we're almost, I feel like we're good people, right? And she's buying clothes. I got the stroller. She's bought like a lot of baby items. I bought things through Amazon for the baby. We have the baby's room, obviously still not set up 100%. But then I think about like, and I still feel like we're not 100% ready.
Okay.
But then I start thinking about how other people that are, I don't want to sound rude, but that they're a little bit more careless. Mm-hmm. Maybe it was a mistake. ¿Cómo le hacen, güey?
It was unplanned.
Yeah, like if I feel like we're like not 100% ready, I don't know how like other people do it.
I think it's just like anything. I mean, no, I don't think you're ever ready for anything.
Yeah.
Like 100%.
Right.
Until you actually go through it and you're like, well, I'm here. You make the best out of it.
Yeah.
But that's I think that's with everything, man.
Yeah.
But you feel ready. I think you're nervous. We're all nervous. Like in the beginning of anything, new job, new interview, even with the new relationship. But once you're in it, you're like, you try to make the best out of it.
So scary.
But going back to what you said, there are people.
Yeah.
And we might get judged on this that are a little careless when it comes. Como que nomás avientan chamacos a lo güey.
Yeah.
And it's like, bro, you can't even feed one or two. Yeah, you're popping a third one.
And they make it happen.
And they make it happen. Yeah. So it's like, no sé en qué está, güey. I think it's just parenthood. You make it work one way or the other.
Yeah. And I think we talked about this in the past. People that are quote unquote careless son los que menos batallan en tener kids, güey.
Yeah.
Right? Like, hay veces que, like, what the fuck? They're popping out kids and they don't have a stable job. They don't have a stable relationship, and kid after kid, he's silent.
Baby daddy after baby daddy.
Yeah.
We've all seen those too, but
what do you think it is, güey? They just freaking fertile.
They're just fertile. We're Mexican, güey.
Nah, güey, but...
No, it happens with all ethnic races and stuff, but... I don't know what it is. Like, diría mi mamá, la bendición de Dios. You got it,
Sí.
He makes it happen one way or the other.
That's weird, though, right? Yeah. Because hay gente buena que batalla, güey.
Yeah.
And going back to what you said, like, and then we have other women out there that different baby daddy popping one baby after another, sin batallar, güey.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, I'll put myself out there with my previous relationship. For 3 years we tried it, and it didn't happen.
And you're a freaking good guy with también ella.
Yeah. And I felt like I was ready, and I felt like I was, Well, not 100%, but I was like, if it came, I was like, all right,
you were ready for it.
You know, bring it onto the life, bring everything, carriola, stroll, whatever you want to call it. But sometimes it's just not meant to. I don't know if it's the person you're with is not meant to be. And then that's when you bring up the question. It's like, well, why me? Yet there's other people that are, you know, not as prepared or ready, but they make it happen. So I don't know. Quién sabe en qué está, güey. It's just, I don't know what it is. Sometimes it's maybe just not meant to be, not with that person. Because I've also heard stories of people being married. I had a friend at work 15 years away, and they were trying to have babies, nothing. Went to treatment, nothing. They separated. Within the year, girl got with another guy.
No way.
She got preggo.
No way.
She got preggo. Yeah, and I was like, well, you don't go into specifics and be like, oh, was there something wrong with the guy or something wrong with the girl? But apparently everything was good. It just never happened. But the moment they separated,
that's insane.
And then you touch on the mentality way, like if you're mentally ready, the stress of work, like un chingo de cosas. That's true. So who knows? But they will. That's why they say, you know, when you're blessed with the child way, it's a blessing.
Yeah. If you get the way, I at first, because we had 2 miscarriages, so I even thought that we were gonna be that couple that we were gonna struggle. We even had to, like, I checked myself, Chelo checked herself, and they said everything looked good. But I think there was something, and I don't know if this is too personal, which I don't think it is, because I think we've discussed this in the past. And I think Chelo had like a cyst or something like that, and I think it's quite it's normal, very common, right?
Ovarian cyst.
Yeah, something like that, right? And it turned out like that maybe that was causing it or whatnot. So I think after the second miscarriage, it was one of those things that, like, fuck, we might have to go to treatment and all of these things, right? So I'm like, fuck, it's going to be having to go get checked, maybe taking vitamins or whatever, maybe having the doctor doing that, like, I don't know if this is a correct term, but artificial insemination. Right? So I was already thinking we were going that route. And next thing you know, she's like, hey, like, I haven't gotten my period. But I didn't want to get too excited no more way.
Okay.
Because I'm like, fuck, like, I've been down this road. Right. So, yeah, it happened. And then, okay, we followed up next day. So, okay, are you still good? Yeah, like, we got the test and everything. And then, like,
did you guys wait like at least a week or just a couple of days for the test?
We waited about a week. Okay. Yeah, about a week. And then we just took it day by day. Then finally, okay, well, let's go to the doctors to make sure everything's good. Yeah, everything's good. Then the trimester and so on and so forth. And now we're like...
solid.
Yeah, and then we're like a week away. So crazy. But yeah, it's just... I really thought it was going to be one of those things that we were going to be like struggling, which we did struggle with 2 miscarriages, unfortunately. But cuando Dios quiere, güey, it's only...
I was going to ask you, how did you first find out? Through you guys doing your own like test or at the actual doctor?
Test and the doctor after.
But you kind of knew already with the test, like the home test.
Yeah. Okay. Like I think I bought a pack of like 10 or something.
He's like, do it 10 times to make sure.
Yeah. Pero sí, güey. Bueno, pues let me do the intro so we can kick it off, güey.
All right, cool.
All right. Are you ready? Welcome to Hoy No Más Podcast with Angel Houseman.
All right, Chris, if you don't mind, Wayne, we don't have to go too personal into your story, but at least a little bit of detail. That way it's in relation to all of this.
Right.
We'll get started with that, but first of all, we'll welcome back to Hoy No Más Podcast. This is going to be episode 71 with Chris, obviously, and yeah. So, cool. Yeah. So if you're new to the channel, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already subscribed. We just gave away a corrido in the last episode. We plan on doing more giveaways eventually, maybe to the next milestone. So stay tuned for that. But for now, if you haven't, click the subscribe button and appreciate it. It doesn't cost you anything at all. So
nothing. Just press it.
Yeah. All right, Chris. So if you don't mind me asking, And we don't have to go in too deep, right?
That's fine.
How was your relationship with your dad?
I think I have good memories on my dad.
Okay.
But like they're limited because he was only around, I want to say up until like I was 12.
Okay.
No, well, he was always around. He just got remarried. Like
okay.
He got, he found a different. No, that's not the right term. Ese güey se metió con otra vieja.
Hey, say how it is, güey. Yeah.
Ese güey se metió con otra vieja.
Yeah.
So my mom gave him the boot.
Yeah.
And she's like, fuck this. That ain't happening.
Yeah.
Y pues sí, creo que tenía como, I think 12, güey.
Trying to make it.
I was trying to make it nice for him.
Trying to make it formal.
Yeah. Because he also passed away. So I was like, but whatever.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Shit. ¿Sabes qué, güey? I always, and sorry about this, güey.
Uh-huh.
Pero I'm very, very bad with dates, güey.
Uh-huh.
And I know we talked about like your stepdad, right? That he was the one that was more in the picture.
Oh yeah, he was more in the picture.
And we don't have to go too in depth, but whatever you want to share, fine, right? But I didn't even know that he. Oh yeah, I think I do remember that your dad passed.
Again, this is why we weren't so close with him. So no, it doesn't. I didn't bring him up much.
Right, right. Okay.
Yeah, he passed away from supposedly because of COVID reasons, but a bunch of people passed away from like 2020. Pues cuando pegó la pandemia, he was one of the ones that I haven't seen his death certificate, but I'm pretty sure the death reason que nos dijeron en el hospital era COVID.
Yeah.
He died because of COVID.
So up until what time or what time frame is still like in the picture?
Oh man, I can't remember the year wise, but I was probably around 11 or 12. And like my dad was a trucker. He was a semi truck driver.
Okay.
So he manejaba, used to drive around. Well, my mom used to tell me, and I remember vaguely, manejaba troques de produce, tomate, cebolla, all that. Like he would bring in the produce to like the big stores, like back in the day, like Lucky, Albertsons, all that.
Oh, okay.
But he was based out of LA, so he was always like going back and forth, San Diego, LA. And I guess through other states, so we hardly ever saw him. But it turns out he was being busy somewhere else too.
Oh shit!
And I remember a couple of trips with him, and where I used to love tomatoes. The little ones, the little salad tomatoes.
Oh yeah, those little ones. Yeah.
Dude, he used to bring me boxes with lo bajaba del pinche trailer. And I remember like my mom sitting here, my dad driving, and like me in the middle of the truck, just eating pinches tomates with salt, echaba sal. And like that's one of the good memories I have with my dad.
Yeah.
And then others are just like, and the few times that he was around the house, just like going to the park and just playing soccer,
so
or just hanging out.
Let me ask you this: why eating tomatoes in a truck is one of the best memories for you?
Because at the time, that's all I knew. It was my dad and my mom. And I was like, I can't tell you I remember where I was going, but I just remember being on the road and having the little, I don't think I see them anymore. Remember the little green boxes?
Una canastita, güey.
Una canastita verde.
Yeah.
Sí, he used to bring me like racks of tomatoes.
Yeah.
From the cargo, la cabina.
Yeah.
You just pull them out. He's like, ten hijo, chingate los tomates. And I was like, a little bit of salt, and I would just pop tomatoes.
Right.
And it's like the best thing in the world. Like one of the few memories that I have it's that. And then he was never like really around because he was always like on the road.
Yeah. Shit.
Up until my brother came around, then I had someone to play with. But now it's always my mom and myself, and then just kind of waiting around the house until he showed up.
Pero también dicen mucho de eso, ¿no, güey? De los troqueros que siempre andan.
Oh, sí, sí.
Yeah. They're always on the road, so.
Yeah. He pues, typical Mexican dad. Dicen que tenía feria, güey. O sea, they make good money.
Yeah.
Pero pues se daban unas chingas. Y cuando regresábamos our family's from Guanajuato, cuando regresamos a Guanajuato, ahí jalaba la mariachi, la banda, y pisteada y todo, pues he had money. But he, typical old school Mexican dad que lleva al pueblo y quiere soltar feria, show off. But I didn't get to see that part. I only hear it from my mom. Yeah.
Yeah, and the reason why I was asking about like the tomatoes, even as simple as that, or of having that memory of eating tomatoes in a truck, and just you remember that as a kid, right? I remember my dad as a kid, and now I think about it like, fuck, I wouldn't even think of doing this, right? Pero mi papá, güey, nos llevaba, he would take us to the airport.
Okay.
Allá por...
Harbor Island?
Yeah. Sí, Simón, ¿es el Harbor Island?
Yeah.
Donde está por Zipper Village, güey. Donde vas pasando hasta Zipper Village y llegas al aeropuerto. Yeah, I guess it is
Harbor
right?
Island. It's Harbor Island, Shelter Island, over by Point Loma area.
Yeah.
Shelter,
Harbor. Okay. So anyways, he would park right, like, I don't even know if this is an actual parking space, but he would pull over and we would sit down in the car, I believe, and we would go and look at the airplanes just take off.
Oh,
and for cool. Yeah, and for me, it was like the most amazing experience because of like, oh shit, the airplanes. He would make something so simple, quote unquote, right? Because obviously a plane flying is not simple, right? Mm-hmm. But now things like that, as adults, we take it for granted, right?
Right.
Which for him, maybe he didn't have money at the time, maybe something that he enjoyed, but till this day is something that I have very embedded in myself, that he would take us or take me, go look at airplanes take off. And it was an amazing experience because I was like at awe. I was amazed of like, wow, like this airplane, and the way that he made it seem like it was like an amazing experience. So it doesn't take much to impress a kid or make it
spending that time.
Yeah.
Is what, that's what sticks.
Yeah. Y otra, güey, es, aparte de esa, era en la playa de Tijuana, güey. Uh-huh. Íbamos, me acuerdo de I think back in the days, vendían como tortas bien grandes, güey. No sé si te tocó, miraste, pero eran tortas grandes. Or at least, maybe in my head, they were big, pero...
Tortas al turco, maybe.
Maybe.
They used to make some pretty bomb tortas over there.
Y de me acuerdo, güey, que...
If they listen to the podcast, que nos den uno los güeyes. They're still in business.
Oh, are they?
Free marketing for them. Yeah.
Sí, güey, desde allá en la playa nos pegábamos contra el agua, güey.
Uh-huh.
Y, o sea, cuando el agua se hacía para atrás y luego ya cuando venía la marea para atrás.
¿Te acuerdas en playas de Tijuana o ibas a Rosarito?
Fuck, I was a little kid.
No, you don't remember.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah. Y íbamos... O sea, se iba el agua, pues, y luego ya cuando llegaba la marea, we would just run back from the water, güey.
Okay.
Something as simple as that, güey. Just, going towards the water, y ya que venía la marea, running away from the water. It's just those little core memories that I remember very, very, like in detail almost,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like certain, because they're moments.
Sí,
but some of them you can close your eyes, but you can relive the moments and be like, oh, I remember doing this. I remember doing that with your dad or my dad.
Yeah.
I remember. Well, that's cool.
Yeah.
Mine was always on the road. We were always either going to a park or driving somewhere.
Yeah.
Or whenever he showed up, I used to have, I don't know if you remember this, they used to have either cars or little trucks with like big old wheels, and you have to like run it on the floor.
Yeah. Sí,
como que agarrar la cuerda, güey, y luego se iban solitos.
Yeah, or you would have to pull it back, ¿no?
Or pull it back.
Yeah.
And now that I think about it, back when I was a kid, ni le ponía atención, I was just, he's always going to bring me something.
Yeah.
And I was like, now that I've traveled, and, go to Texas, Arizona, all the places that I've been to, on the gas stations, güey, que te paras, siempre hay carritos. And I was like, now it makes sense, like,
Shit, yeah.
It's like my dad, wherever he was at, he would always pick up a little car toy.
Yeah.
Y siempre me llegaba con una troquita, con un carrito, güey. So I was like, so it's like the little things you take for granted. I was like, este vato, sí, andaba jalando.
Yeah.
But
se acordaba
de mí, güey, because he would always bring home a little car toy. Mm. I mean, like at one point, así that's what I would play with, because that's maybe that's why I like trucks, I don't know.
Yeah
Pero
oh, shit, that's true,
me traía troquitas, bochitos, whatever car.
Yeah.
But I remember he used to always bring the ones with the bigger wheels, but just to crank them up y que se fueran.
That's funny.
So I was like, like I don't know when I thought about that. I think my last trip I went to Utah. And in one of the gas stations, miré un chingo carritos, and that was the first. I was like, dude, my dad was working away from home, but he always thought about me. So I was like, that's pretty dope.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I no te mencioné que there's 9 kids. He's got 9 kids.
Oh shit!
But I'm the oldest. I'm the oldest out of
de todos,
güey.
Yeah. Oh shit!
And again, some of this information is from my mom. I can't verify 100%, pero pues las mamás saben qué pedo con los jefes.
Oh, okay. Yeah. But you said you met some of your other relatives, right?
Yeah.
Not all of them?
Not all of them. No. There's 2 that I know that are still in Mexico that I've never met. And then there's 4 in LA. And then there's 2 of us. Aquí in San Diego, me and my brother. Well, that's 6, 7. And then my mom has other stories that, I can't verify, but I think there might be 2 more. So it's a total of 9. Yeah.
So total 9, maybe 11?
No. Like 7 counted for.
Oh, okay.
Maybe possibly 2 more.
Oh, okay.
But like the first one, it was a girl, my mom says. But it's one baby mama. Okay. And then the second one, I think it's another girl.
Oh, shit.
Her name is Selene. I don't know. I think, and she's in Guanajuato or Michoacan.
Yeah.
Right, and then it was then me.
Yeah.
And then a year later, another guy. I forgot his name. He's in LA, in Hollywood. So basically, my dad's living a double life where he had a wife here in San Diego, and then a wife in LA.
Oh, pero nomás eran dos esposas, pues.
Pues sí, que sabemos.
Yeah.
Well, my mom was the wife, but then I don't know whatever he did. He had, I guess, kids outside of the marriage.
Yeah.
Y pues ya cuando mi mamá se dio cuenta, lo mandó a la chingada. And se fue y se casó con la otra.
Fuck, that's crazy. Man.
I mean, he fucked up over here, but then he went and made it right for the other family.
Yeah, mis tías me dicen que I have an older brother from my dad's side, but nadie sabe de él. Oh, but apparently I have an older brother.
¿Y nunca te da por buscarlo?
I don't even know his name. We didn't even know where to look for him. Okay. Yeah, exactly. Pero sí, I know of my 2 other relatives, my younger brother from his side and my sister from his side.
Which I met.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, you met.
Angela.
Right. Yeah.
Angelita.
Yeah.
She's probably Angela.
Yeah. Yeah. De hecho, supuestamente, mi papá cuando se presentó con Chelo en ayahuasca, the ceremony, I don't know if I told you, right?
You told me.
Pero que le dijo que ya no siguiéramos ese pattern. And I don't know if Chelo's making this up, but she wouldn't, right? Pero supuestamente mi papá le dijo a Chelo que ya no siguiéramos ese pattern de, ya ves, porque mi papá Miguel, yo Ángel, y ella Ángela, porque mi papá es Miguel Ángel, y yo soy Ángel Miguel, y luego ella Ángela, so dijo
my stepdad is Miguel Ángel too.
Oh, really? Yeah. Oh, shit, that's crazy. No.
Well,
yeah.
Miguel, but his name is Miguel Ángel.
Yeah. So supuestamente kind of give them their own identity.
Okay.
Yeah. So que cambiáramos eso, pues. Because originally I kind of wanted that, right? Oh, like a junior, right? But se me quitó también eso, like, would that be something you actually would want, right? Que tu boy, if you ever have a son, for him to be a junior? Like,
no. I just want it to be a variation of my name because I'm Christian.
Yeah.
And I was like, if I would want to carry on the Chris part.
Yeah.
But it'd probably be like un Cristóbal, un Christopher.
Oh, okay.
Something like that. But I wouldn't want another Christian.
But why that way? Is it just something?
Because I don't know. It's in my head, and I was like, it would still be like the short of it would still be Chris.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. It's funny though because I feel like maybe that's a guy thing, way. Because Julian, por ejemplo, he put his son's name as Juliancito, right?
Juliancito, yeah.
And I think it's a guy thing where we just want it's kind of like an extension of you.
Yeah.
Because one way, whether it's Christian or not, you still want that con que sea Chris.
Yeah, it's like Chris Senior or Chris.
Yeah.
I guess it would be a junior, but I think the junior part, and forget for all those people that have junior in their name. Yeah. Nowadays I feel like it's overrated.
Yeah.
Like no. O sea, eres un junior, you're a junior. You already know.
Yeah.
Like I'm the oldest out of the boys and my dad's. Like I'm my dad's firstborn guy. So technically I'm the junior, but I was like I don't have junior in my name.
Right. Yeah.
So I was like he's still gonna be my dad, and he's no longer here, but the legacy he lives on. But
right.
And I've never had this discussion with my stepbrothers. We don't even talk. I only talk to my they're not step because they're my half sister. Yeah, she's up in LA too, and she's probably the only one that I that I talked to when my dad was alive, because she used to like keep me in tabs. Like, hey, you know, my dad, and it was weird hearing somebody else say, "Oh, my dad." I was like, "No, that's my dad."
Right.
Pero que te dijera, hey, my dad talked about you, or my dad asked how you were doing, and, you know, ¿cómo estás? And then she would kind of tell him, which was also kind of upsetting, because, you know, if you can ask her to ask me, why don't you ask me directly?
Yeah.
You know, it was weird.
Yeah.
But I think he knew he fucked up for so many years that...
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
Por ejemplo, como fuera... como vergüenza, güey, almost, no? Como que like, I don't want to be the one reaching out because there's so much gap in between the time that, hey, pregúntale a ver cómo anda. Like, you know what I mean? He still cares.
Right.
But obviously he don't want to like reach out because there's so much years in between that it would be like maybe explanations and so on and so forth. So like maybe the shorter route.
Yeah. I mean, till this day, it's something that I've always asked myself. I was like, I don't know. And I've talked to my uncle, who is pues, su hermano, mi tío Carlos. Que le mando un saludo. He's in LA too. Everybody's in LA. I mean, at one point, even I was in LA. But we moved down here, and I'm going to age myself. But in 94, I think, the Northridge earthquake, pinche earthquake, estuvo in LA. People that were around that area, un pinche earthquake que así bien mamón, y my mom was like, hell no, we're moving to San Diego. But anyways, I talked to my uncle when my dad passed away, and he's like, no, hijo, like, tienes que perdonarlo. And I was like, I don't know, no es como que I don't feel like I hate him or anything, but I've always asked myself those questions. I was like, well, why did you make it right for the other family, but you couldn't make it right for me and my brother? And I think half of that has to be that my mom, you know, dijo no, hasta aquí. Like, mi mamá no dijo no. She wasn't gonna, you know, put up with the cheating and, you know, infidelity and stuff like that. So maybe that has to be part of it. Que mi mamá lo corrió y le quemó la ropa. Sí, esa la sacó, esa la quemó y le hizo un desmadre a mi mamá, pero I don't know. I don't know if he tried. I don't know. You know, only my mom would know. But I always ask myself, I was like, well, you couldn't be with me and my brother, yet you could be with a different female and make it right for them, you know?
Right.
Like, they grew up with my dad, but I didn't grow up with my dad. So it's like, it's weird how, you know, and you can't, how do you stop it? How do you change it? It's just life. It just happened.
Yeah.
And my uncle's like, no, pues perdón. I was like, no, tío, pero es que no lo... It's just questions in my head.
Cool. What type of questions, like, aside from like, hey, how come you didn't make it right for us? What else would you like wanted to know?
That, and why his my half sister, como ella sí me buscaba y me saludaba, you know. Yeah. And with the other guys, I get it, because it's probably like a guy thing.
Yeah.
Oh, la chingada ese vato, okay, you know what I mean? I was like, because they all know I'm the oldest one. Yo soy el junior, güey. So, you know, like, I'm the first male born that carried my dad's last name. So I kind of get it. I was like, ni yo los quería. Ese güey es gay. Tengo mi carnal, ese güey no. But the girl, and her name is Adilene. She would reach out, and she was, hey, ¿cómo estás? Me saludaba. She knew who I was. They all knew about us, pero ella sí me saludaba y todo. Se me decía de mi papá y eso. Y I was like, well, why? Why didn't my dad take the effort to say hi? Yeah, I know we talked about it. Maybe le daba vergüenza, o pues que me decía. Like, he was I think from the age that I was 12 and on. Maybe might have seen him 1 year when I was 13. And then he kind of just went MIA from there. I will say that from the moment that he separated from my mom, he was always there though. He was legit, like, coming over to pick us up to go buy like school supplies. Yeah. Every school year, este güey venía. Y zapatos, calcetines, pants, uniform, whatever. Like, just stock up. And then we wouldn't see him again, basically, for the rest of the year.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. So, again, I don't know if my mom had anything to do with it, but my mom was always very open about... we always knew where he was at. We had a form of communicating with him.
Right.
We can, through my uncles, through everybody, through the whole family. Because ya cuando tienes hijos, está cabrón como que te pierdas, ¿no? Yeah. Like, you can't... Unless you really want to be like a deadbeat, está bien cabrón. Because family will always be there. And we always knew where to find him. He knew where to find us, but no, we didn't try.
Nobody tried.
Yo no quería ir hasta allá con él. And he would always say, I remember towards the end, he was like, oh, vénganse a vivir para acá. You know, and Mama was no, ni madres.
Oh, he reached out to you guys?
He reached out towards the...
Yeah.
They separated, and I think that one time, like within a year gap, I think he reached out to my mom. He wanted my mom to go live up in LA again, and we're like, nope. And my mom siempre me dijo, vete con tu papá. You know where he lives. You know, he's willing to, you know, have you over the weekends. And I was like, nope, no. I wasn't mad. I can't even tell you that I was mad, but...
Maybe resentment,
yeah. Maybe that's why I still have a little bit of resentment to her. Like, I feel like he could have... I know things with him and my mom would have gone better.
Yeah.
But he could have reached out a little bit more. Yeah. And that's it. Those are like the only two questions I have. I was like, okay, you made it work for one family.
Yeah.
Why wasn't us, you know?
Yeah.
And then once we got older and you knew where we were at, high school and started college, he knew all that stuff. He never reached out.
Yeah, and my story with my dad is a little, not similar, right? But it got to a point when it was like I was 10 years old, but más o menos, my dad I think he got deported or he just went back to Sinaloa for whatever reason. But igual, I would talk to my dad. Mi papá siempre se acordó de mí, güey, for my birthdays, but Christmas, for all the special holidays. Siempre me hablaba, güey. We never lost touch. O él que estaba en Sinaloa, he would always make sure that que me llegaran regalos, güey. Que the Nintendo 64, the newest games, whatever whatever I wanted for me to get it, right?
But see, that's what I'm saying. The effort, like he was far away, but he made the effort.
Yeah, and he always called. He always called. Pero cuando estaba aquí, igual mi papá también se separaron, güey. Yeah. Right, they separated, pero cada domingo, güey, pasaba en su van. Oh, you saw the minivan, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it still around?
It should be, güey. Sí. Que hasta el día de hoy todavía no pedí las llaves, like, hey, man, like, I'm trying to bring it back. Y no me las dieron, güey. Oh, okay. La van todavía está ahí y yo, pues, de mi parte, pues, ya no quise moverle. Pues, hey, ya se las pedí y they haven't given it me. Like, it is what it is, right? Like, it's not going to bring back my dad, right?
Right.
Pero, pero sí, güey, se fue para allá en Sinaloa. Pero todos los domingos, before he ended up going back to Sinaloa, todos los domingos, güey, que Chuck E. Cheese, que ir al parque, güey, que all kinds of different places. Siempre me llevaba a pasear, güey. Llegaba y pitaba, and I was like, oh shit, like everything knew, like, yeah.
Ice cream man.
Yeah, siempre sabía que era like, it was like a fun time, like, right. Oh, like Sundays. Era like that family day outing, right? Pero sí, güey, también around the same age, también pues mi papá se fue, and I was kind of like, even though my dad was still like keep in touch, you still feel like you lack a little bit of your father, right? Mm-hmm. Even though for me that it was normal, right? For me it's like, oh shit, like maybe this is what life is. Él hizo su vida, pero since my dad was always like keep in touch, like for me it was normal, right? Did you ever feel like you were lacking anything from your end, like that father figure, or who was that father figure for yourself?
My mom.
Yeah?
Yeah, my mom was like, no, well, it's weird. When you get older, you think about things the way that life happens, and you're like, oh, because they separated, and my mom was single for, oh man, I feel like forever. Because I want to say I was like, oh shit. I mean, I was I was like maybe a year shy of graduating high school. I must have been 16 or 17, güey. So, but what, 12, 13, como 3 años, mi mamá. I think my mom was single for like 3 years. Could have been less, or maybe she was seeing him and I didn't know. But then my stepdad came into the picture, and él se llama pues Miguel Ángel. And oh man, when like what I didn't lack anything, but you can definitely tell when it's a two house how do you call it? I'm blanking out. It's a 2-income household way.
Oh, okay.
¿Entiendes? Porque mi mamá trabajaba un chingo to keep me and my brother afloat.
Right.
But we kind of knew like we couldn't get excessive with the spending.
Yeah.
Porque she was a single mom with 2 kids. Way. But when my stepdad came into the picture, I was like, no man, like hey, trajes completos, way. Like hey, Nike, sweats. Tennis shoes. Like he financially he supported my mom a lot, and we were able to see the difference in what we were able to wear, what we were able to ask for. Chuck E. Cheese way también every weekend. We used to go to Sizzlers. He loved Sizzlers, so we were always at Sizzlers. Just financially. Yeah, ahora it makes sense to me, right? Because it's like, hasta cabrón tener los chamacos by yourself.
Yeah.
But when he came into the picture, and then for the longest of time, he was like, oh man, this is. I think this is why I also kind of didn't feel like I needed my actual dad.
Yeah.
Because he was there, and since my dad wasn't pressing to see us or anything, Miguel kind of became my dad figure. Mm-hmm. So I mean, he still is the dad figure. So I really didn't miss my dad because he was there and he provided, and he did a lot of great things. And and it's something that I always tell him, and I tell my mom that I'm thankful for. He wouldn't even take us to the hospital. He would hire doctors to come to the house, like pediatricians and stuff. O sea, él pagaba. No, los hospitales, no. He would bring a doctor to the house. We wouldn't have to worry about, waiting or sitting in the hospital or the clinic. No, but doctors would come to our house. Like, financially, he was there for my mom. And he did a lot of great things, pero también, como todos hacemos cosas, también hacemos pendejadas y la cagan. Yeah, so it was like, no era un santo, no fue un santo, but bringing me up in my early childhood, he was a really good, like, dad figure.
Yeah.
And then my sisters came along, eventually this was my mom's second marriage. And then my sister comes along. This was back in 97. And then my other sister comes along later on, which is, from same. So me and my brother have the same dad, and then my 2 sisters have the same dad.
From Miguel?
From Miguel. Uh-huh.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So me and Everett are from Arturo in LA. And then Miguel is, Desi's and Tansin's dad. But yeah, he was always around. And the same thing with him. I don't know what happened. I guess you get older too, and you stop needing them that much. Like, I needed you as a child, but then I hit 18, 19. Like, I feel like Everett has a stronger bond with him because Everett was younger. And he came into my life kind of like when in my rebel days, 17, 18, 19.
Yeah.
Was, I was going to parties, and I was, you remember, the dirty days, and being out late and stuff. And so he came in at a good time for the financial and emotional support, but I was also on my way out per se.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were becoming a man at that point.
I was making my own life at that point, but he was good, man. He was good for a very long time. And then he started doing some stupid shit that I was like, no. Just with being like not to go much into detail, but just being like the macho man, like the typical Mexican.
Right.
Aquí se hace lo que yo digo y no vas a salir.
But was it like a sudden change, would you say?
You know what? I think it was always there. I was too young to
notice it.
Yeah, I was too young to notice it. But they were once you kind of get out of that eggshell, que ves la vida diferente, dices, oh shit, like eso no está bien. Like I'm not gonna let my mom.
Right.
Like, why is he yelling at my mom?
Yeah.
Why can't my mom go to a party?
Right.
Like, taking 2 of your kids and we're gonna go hang out. Like shit like that, and you're like, the fuck, that's not right.
Yeah.
But as a kid or younger or a teenager, you don't realize that.
Right.
All you know is you got to wake up, go to school, be good, behave, eat, and do it again the next day. So like I started noticing behavior like that, and then I didn't like it.
Yeah.
I didn't like it, so I had to kind of stand up to that.
So even though he was in the picture, you would say that your mom was still more of a father figure?
Oh, yeah, my mom was like, my mom was like, still is. Siempre le digo a mi jefita es como mi papá.
Yeah.
Like most people, I've always told my cousins and everything, I was like, my dad I wasn't really close with to start off. So he passed away, and I felt it because I always used to tell people, hey, where's your dad? Oh, he's in Hollywood. He's in LA. Como que mi papá está ahí. When he passed away, I was like, I don't have a dad anymore. Like my biological dad.
Right.
So that absence de que ya no está. But I have my stepdad. So I was like, okay, he's still here. He's still around. He's still alive. Right. My dad figure is there.
Yeah.
And then, but, oh, man, when it comes to life lessons, teachings, fighting fending for yourself, going out there and making a better future for you, my mom. My mom is like my dad as well.
That's what I was gonna ask you. What's been the biggest advice or best advice that you've received from your mom?
Oh man, there's too many. There's too many to say. Yeah. Like this is like the best advice, but
or one that sticks out.
It's like I don't think she said it verbally, pero being my mom. Being a woman from Guanajuato, the only girl out of 6 women and 5 men, there's 13 of them that are still alive, I think. She's the only female that left, que dejó el pueblo. The only female that came to the States.
Okay.
The only female that wanted a better... Well, I'm sure all my tías wanted a better future, but my mom's the only one that tuvo los huevos, like, hey, I'm leaving my family and everything behind to para irnos al norte, to make a better future. All my uncles, my 5 uncles, migrated to Florida, and my grandpa brought him over. And, being a girl, like, te quedas con la mamá, you're going to stay here, you're going to be, you're going to find yourself a man, vas a tener hijos, vas a ser esposa, y aquí te quedas. That's what happened to my 5 other tías. But my mom was like, hell no. I was like, yo quiero ir para allá. Yo quiero al norte. So she left. So I think from the very, like, just thinking that about my mom in that process, it's like, ay, mi mamá tuvo unos huevotes. Like, hey, she could have stayed with her mom and then the protection of her older sisters.
Right.
But she decided to come over here on her own. And I've heard stories cuando llegó a Tijuana. Pues llegaron tenían que comer. I think she got here on the train. Se vino en el tren desde Guanajuato. Back in the day, Pénjamo tenía una estación de tren. La estación ya no existe, pero they had... And, sleeping in the terminal for 2-3 days until they were able to accommodate or find someone to go with to sleep in. And then coming over to, antes, she tells me the story, güey, que... you can text somebody, hey, ya llegué. Oh, Simota, salgo y te recojo.
Yeah.
Anyway, like, my dad didn't even know that my mom had come over.
Oh, shit.
Like, he knew, I guess, because he used to write letters. Me dijeron que le mandó una carta desde Guanajuato a LA.
Fuck.
De que, hey, para estos días me voy a ir. Yeah. But it's like, once you leave, you don't even know if the letter's going to get to him. Right. Or if he even read it.
Yeah.
So te venías a tu suerte, güey.
Fuck.
And then she was here. And I was like, well, it's within that week que le dije que iba a estar. Then where's he going to find me? Like, I'm going to wait here at the terminal for 3 days and hopefully he's here de esos 3 días a buscarme. Right. And then you find a way to call back or find a phone to tell somebody in your hometown que le avisen acá. Yeah. Era un desmadre, güey. So it's like technology's come a long way. So it's like my mom was really... Like, I always tell her, no, like, she's got some balls. For being a woman, I was like, back in the 60s,
yeah.
I was like, she made a long trajectory to get here. Then my dad finds out she's here. He comes pick her up. Yeah, no. Mm-hmm. But I was like, I think the biggest lesson that I could take away from my mom, dude, is like, if you want it, whatever you set your mind to,
yeah,
you can, it's work like anything else, but you can get it away.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's, and we talked about this, sometimes our limits are only in our head way.
Yeah.
Like there's no limits, but you got to put the work to it.
Yeah.
And maybe you're not going to end up where you wanted, but oh man, the effort and the journey there, look que vale.
Mm.
And it's like, my mom's never been the lady that you can say no to. Esa señora, no. That's why sometimes we crash too.
Mm.
Yeah. Because you can't really say no to her. Like, she finds a way to get things done. Y le vale madre que sea vieja.
Yeah. And what do you wish? Fuck, I sound muffled away for some reason.
I hear you good.
Yeah, ¿se me oyes bien? Mm-hmm. I think it was algo le moví aquí. All right, fuck it. I think you can hear me good?
I hear you clear. Okay. Yeah.
So what's been something that you wish you would have had in a dad? Even though your mom was like a father figure for you, is there something that you wish you would have had or experienced?
I mean, I had my stepdad, but you know, you can't really deny where you come from. Like, I'm sure your dad did something that you're like, oh, my dad used to do this and I enjoy it too. Whether it's artistic or reading or jogging or running or driving, whatever. There was something your dad did that you can relate to. My stepdad was great, and I always give him credit for that. But he was very, he was an educated man. Like, él fue profe en la UNAM. Y he was the type of guy que se sentaba a leer, su periódico, sus revistas, Proceso, Zeta, like very politician-like. And I enjoy sports a lot, coming up, right? Or like going, like, let's go work on a car, you know? Pero él nunca era de eso, güey. Él era de que llegaba a su jale y todo, y a leer el periódico on the weekend, sus revistas, write down. He's very, he's just, I can't describe him any other way. He was just like a very educated, like, politics guy. Like, o sea, nunca que decías, no sé, let's go build something. No. Let's go work on a car together. No. Let's go play soccer together. No. Let's go play baseball. Let's go on a bike ride together. No. Right. Like, it was he would just come home and do his thing, and me and Everett, luckily I have a brother. And, we would do all of our things. But I would have wished that either my dad or my stepdad would have spent more time kind of like doing what we like. Because it was, te digo, mi mamá siempre era like she was there. Like, it got to a point where mi mamá siempre decía, no, y dice que ella no iba a crear huevones, que ella no quería huevones en su casa. So every every summer, for like a good 5 years, she, with either the network here or people that we knew or my uncles in Mexico, nos mandaba. Y yo tenía que mi padrino, mi tío que es plomero, un summer, vete a trabajar con tu tío para que aprendas de plomería, a arreglar boilers, pipas galvanizadas, PVC, líneas de agua, todo, güey. Ok, ya fuiste con eso, ok, para este otro summer te vas a trabajar con tu tío que es poner alfombras. So you learn about, moving and installing carpets, las vistas, abajo alfombra, everything. Okay, good. And then next summer, vete con un conocido que tenemos aquí que hace demolition. Y eran unas putizas. Y llegar y tumbar el drywall, the framing, sacar basura, sacar todo a los troques, llevarlos al dompe, tirar todo eso. Like, oh shit, like quebrar concrete, todo eso, boom. Ya aprendiste, okay. Y otro summer, con tu tío Pancho, mi tío Pancho. He's a landscaper. Hey, vamos, we're going to remove landscape, vamos a tumbar palmas, vamos a cortar zacate, we're going to, take out a trunk. There are unas madrizas in the summer. But you learn. I was able to invest my time learning all this other stuff that now that I'm older, I appreciate it.
Oh, shit. And it was your mom that told you guys?
Yeah. And it was my mom. Like, El Everett, because we used to live over by 45th and Logan in the hood. There was a tire shop a block away from my house.
Yeah.
Al Everett lo mandaban, güey, a trabajar en a tire shop. To a point where Everett knew how to jack up a car, how to change the tires, how to change the wheel. O sea, like minor mechanic work. Stuff like that. Because my mom was always like, a man has to know everything. A man has to know a little bit of everything. Y cada summer, te digo, for a good 5 years, me acuerdo de que ahora, pues, what's going to be the next thing to learn?
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
And I was going to ask you that way, how... Well, now let me ask you this.
Okay.
How valuable is that?
Oh, te digo, now that I'm older, it's priceless, man. Because I'm a very hands-on guy.
Yeah.
Tú sabes. Like, I know a lot of stuff.
Right.
And I can't tell you I'm an expert at a single thing, but at least I know the work that goes behind it, and I can appreciate the work.
Yeah.
Como hay mucha gente que es como dicen, no, es muy negrera, güey. O sea, quieren todo y acá, pero no saben que es una putiza. Yeah. So it's like, even if I'm not doing it, I appreciate the work because I've been there, done that. Y pues, we all try to find the most, economical, el precio más barato, güey, porque hay gente que también se pasa, ¿no?
Yeah.
Pero dices, no, es que yo de morro me aventé jale así con mi tío y no, es una madriza. Yeah, I was a kid. Obviously, I'm not as stronger as, when you're a kid, todo eso, pero pues ves a tus tíos y dices, and they do this for a living.
Right.
Yo nomás lo hacía, you're talking, 4 weeks, maybe 5 weeks during the summer?
Yeah.
A month and a half? Y ellos toda su vida haciendo eso.
Wait, I didn't know that way. And it's funny that you say that because I was going to ask you exactly the same thing, right? ¿Dónde chingados aprendiste a hacer todo, güey? Porque you're somebody that I think we even joke around, güey, de que eres un Boy Scout, güey. Sabes un poquito de todo, güey.
Yeah.
Pero, ¿sabes qué? Yo también he sido that same type of person, right? Aunque no me mandaron como tú, güey, que te mandaron a trabajar con un tío o lo que sea, but I've always wanted to learn something new,
right?
Para que nadie me cuente, güey.
Ándale.
¿Sí me entiendes?
But see, now that's valuable, right? Cuando estás morro ni piensas, pero de ahora digo, ay, ¿qué me van a andar contando?
Big time, güey. Por ejemplo, it's just something de que I don't know, güey. Igual, güey, as a man, right? De perder tienes que tener un conocimiento, güey. Lo más básico, güey, de perder saber cómo moverle, and you learn as you go. At least as long as you have the basics, y después vas aprendiendo con tiempo, de perdida, con que tengas eso, pues, I think that's more than enough, right? Porque nunca vas a ser experto en todo, pero as long as you're willing to, like, put in the effort and learn and know at least the basics, con eso es suficiente.
Con eso, yep.
Yeah.
So it's like, I think also it was also my mom, like psychological therapy, güey.
Yeah.
Porque como todos esos jales eran physicals,
yeah.
When, de andar en chinga,
sí,
it also I kind of grew up with that, no, yo no quiero trabajar en eso, güey.
Oh, yeah?
I was like, I don't want to work. Like, I've already done this. I was
right.
like, todo lo que dices cuando vienen de México, güey, los jales que los tíos agarran o los papás de una vez, it's all demanding, physically demanding jobs, güey.
Right.
Y dices, ay, güey, yo no, that's not what that's not what I want to make a living out of.
Yeah.
Good money.
Right.
I'm not downplaying those jobs, but I was like, nah, I don't, I kind of already had a taste of it y ya no quiero. Ya no quiero. The other one that I didn't mention was the working on cars, the mechanical stuff.
Yeah.
Eso se lo debo un tío también, ahí en Los Ángeles, en San Fernando, mi tío Fernando. And I think we had this discussion with you un día because I love working on cars. Y te digo, I don't market myself as a mechanic, but I could pretty much, do anything on a car.
Yeah.
Except transmissions. Y poner la plug al aceite para que no se tire.
Yeah.
Pero ese tío una vez me dijo, he's like, I was just like, de chismoso. And I was a little older, maybe 16, 17. Y me dijo, vente, hijo, te voy a enseñar. And he's a mechanic by trade. Él hacía todo. And he brought me in one day. Well, he was working outside on the yard, in the front lawn y todo eso. Y luego ya me dice, tráeme una ratchet. I didn't know what a ratchet was. Tráeme el lado, 12, el 14, el 3 cuartos, el 5 octavos. And I was like, what? Like,
yeah.
¿Qué pedo con esto? Y ya, he lined them up. Me dijo, así son los dados, hay métrico, hay estándar, esto es un ratchet, esto es acá. And I was like, oh, okay, y esto se usa para esto. Y me dijo, te voy a enseñar esto, hijo. Le dije, I'm never going to forget this. And I got an opportunity to thank him later on when I was older. But it's something that stuck with me. Y te digo, el mensaje, ¿no? Que dices, me hubiera gustado que mi papá me lo hubiera dado. Pero pues no fue él. Mi tío me dijo, mira, te voy a enseñar esto, hijo. Dice, esto es un trabajo muy honrado. Dice, no te hace rico, pero esto algún día te da de comer. Cuando tú te pares, si tú aprendes esto te va a dar de comer. Si estés aquí, estés en China, esto te da de comer. And at that time, I was like, what are you talking about? ¿De qué estás hablando, tío? Pero yo estaba bien entrado. Y sí, él me enseñó a hacer cambios de aceite. A quitar filtros, a sacar las bujías, a torquear, todo eso. Y fue como a span of, 2 horas, güey. Because he took his time to show me. Así. And I learned it so well. Me gustó tanto, güey, que I picked up on it and I carried on with después más more elaborate jobs, carburetors and alternators and whatever, diagnostics and stuff. But the message he told me, he was like, esto es un trabajo honrado. Dice, y donde quiera que te pares, si te gusta, dice, esto algún día te va a de comer. That to me had no meaning. Pero ahora te puedo decir que I can go to México y si alguien se la atora, yo me ofrezco, yo te puedo echar tu carro a andar, yo te puedo ayudar, lo que sea. Y hasta hacer jump un carro, y a veces la gente no sabe hacer eso. Yeah. Y me ha tocado que we're at the grocery store y se le queda un carro, I'll ask them, I'll jump the car for you. Te quieren dar $5 o $10 just for the jump. And I'm like, no. Yeah. This is nothing for me. Like, this is... Right. I feel good doing this. Pero hay gente que no saben hacer eso. Hay gente que... Conocidos, familiares, de que van con mi mamá. No, pues el Cristian sabe hacer todo eso. Mijo, ¿cuánto me cobras? I'm like, nada. Just buy everything. Yeah. Ve, compra las bujías, compra todo. I'll do it for you. Mijo, ¿cuánto? No, ¿cómo que nada? $10, $20. And now I understand the meaning behind my uncle's words. Si yo me dedicara a eso, güey, de esos 20 bolas, serían para comer. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's like, it's that life cycle. And I was like, God, like things that you take for granted as a kid, when you get older, way, they bring value to your life.
Y fíjate, güey, I think that's something that I wish I would have had more with my own dad, right? Porque mi papá sí sabía de mecánica, güey. Él sabía mover a sus carros, güey. Él sabía... También, pues, he was pretty handy, güey. Okay. And I wish I would have had that time together, like, hey, enséñame, like, de cositas, aunque nunca lo hubiera usado después para mí o de vez en cuando usar that knowledge, right? Pero I wish I would have had, I think that's the thing that I wish I would have had more connection with my dad, way, of sharing and learning things from him.
From him.
Yeah. Porque mi papá siempre estuvo ahí, güey. Como te dije, fuck, he would get me like a bunch of toys. Cualquier cosa que se me antojaba, güey. My dad was always there. But if there's something that I wish I would have or would have had, era eso, güey. To work like on a project together.
Me too. I wish I would have had, going back to my stepdad, I wish there was a game that we would have played together. Or like an event that, that we would have together as a family. Like, he was very to himself most of the time. And he was always, the financially, he was there. Like, lo que quisiéramos. Sí, but, you're like, oh, man, it's like, un car project me hubiera gustado. Yeah. Like, get yourself a little oldie or something.
Right.
Pero no, este vato, he would get a mechanic, hire a mechanic, have the mechanic come over, porque no se querían ensuciar él.
Yeah. I was like, and what do you think about that, right? Por ejemplo, because that's a different perspective, right? Maybe you become successful enough that you don't need to do the work yourself. How do you look at that?
It wasn't clean money, though.
Oh. But como dice
Then I learned.
¿Cómo dice este camarada? El que dice, nada es fácil en la vida. No matter what you're doing, de todas maneras te costó trabajo hacerlo, ¿no?
Yeah.
How do you look at both sides of the spectrum, whether maybe you become successful enough that you don't need to, like, actually get dirty in comparison to, like, no, get dirty so you can understand the work. Do you see more value out of one side or no?
I think there's more value in learning how to do things on your own. Just for it goes both ways. Una, because you can do the job yourself y te ahorras una feria. So there's financial value there.
Right.
The other value is the know-how. Yeah. Like, even if you don't perform the job, you know what the job takes, and that's value. Como even what you're doing now, everything that you put together, your editing and everything, it's valuable, because not everybody knows how to do it. And they hey, Chris, I'll pay you $1 million to do what Angel's doing. Hey, me la pela, güey. I don't know how to do it, but come to you, y tú vas a decir, easy money, because you know it, even if you don't need it, but if they come to you for it. Because you know it, you do it. So I think it adds more. It's more valuable to know the job and do the job yourself. And of course, we all want to do financially. We all want to be financially well and get to the point where you don't have to do it. You could just press a button, or just maybe your next step is point a finger at someone and be like, "Hey, start recording me."
Yeah, exactly.
But you know the process.
Yeah.
and you know that whatever he's doing, you know what he's doing because you've been through it, and maybe you get to a point where you're going to have to pay him, but you're going to value his job because you went through it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. De hecho, that's something even at work, right? Like, for instance, the managers at work, they have this role that they call a PDP. Like, forgot the term for it, right? But what they do is they send them to different departments for like 2 weeks, or I think it's a week in each department. Go with the steel trades, go with the planning department, go to contracts, go with... They send them all over the place so they can have an understanding on what it takes, what they do, who's running the department, who to call, save numbers. So you start building pretty much knowledge all around of the organization. Similar to what you were saying. Maybe you're not going to do the job, but now you have an idea, and you have an understanding of what goes into it, right?
Yeah.
And same thing with everything else in life. Like, let's say maybe you become successful, but let's say, for instance, you ended up working with your uncles or family members to learn all these different trades. And maybe you become successful, but now you have a contractor that's going to come into your house and he's trying to upcharge you or whatever, but you already know it doesn't take you that long, way.
Right.
Yeah. I feel like it's very, very important to actually know at least the very, very basics.
Yeah. I agree 100%. Because that's how I went about it. And I blame my mom, güey. My mom, ella siempre decía, no quiero huevones. Aquí en esta casa no va a haber huevones. And te digo, even Everett, I remember him working at a tire shop.
No sé si supe, güey. O parece, I kind of remember hearing that story. But that's freaking dope, way.
Yeah, but I mean, he got paid too. He got to a point where he would only have to go a block down from the house, where papita y comía en la casa y todo. Y the owner pues lo querían mucho al Everett, you know, because it was a tire shop and it was a radiator shop right next to it. And Everett is very friendly. You know my brother. He's bien amigable. He makes way too many friends for my personal liking. But he makes way too many friends and. No, le pagaban. They were teaching him. Yeah. Bueno, a mí también me pagaban mis tíos, pero I always felt like Everett had it easier. Because he was there. No, a mí se me mandaban. We were all over the freaking place. Nice. La Mesa and Spring. I remember work probably the hardest job, and every time I see gardeners, siempre les ofrezco un bote de agua, güey. Cuando andan así, si yo traigo, estoy en la casa, una pinche soda y un bote. Porque gardeners... landscaping es una putiza. Starting with the heat, depending on where you live. That was probably the hardest. I thought the demo job was hard, but man, you're inside a department or a townhome. No te pega el sol, güey. It's just physical. Y acabas todo madreado, molido. But as a landscaper and a gardener, oh man, your first battle starts by beating the sun. Me levantaba a las 4 de la mañana, güey. Pasaba mi tío y vámonos. A las 6 ya estábamos en chinga porque para las 8 o 9 the sun comes out and half the job had to be done.
Oh, shit.
And a veces te aventabas un tiro con las palmas y eso, 2, 3 de la tarde with the heat on top of you. Yeah. Oh, hell no. It's like everything you eat, you would sweat. So it's like, it was a workout. It was drain everything, güey. Entonces ahora cuando yo veo a los landscapers, o señaladones, güey, le digo, no, yo me acuerdo cuando me iba con mi tío. Oh, man, much love for these guys, man. Yeah. It's hard.
Y fíjate, güey, ahorita me recordaste, y no sé si te tocó mirar, güey, cuando fuimos a Sinaloa, ahorita que acabas de decir que les ofreces agua, lo que sea. Mi papá, se me quedó bien grabado eso también cuando pasaron a la gente que levanta la basura. Mi papá, So, se me quedó bien grabado que iban a recoger la basura, los trabajadores, lo que sea. Y mi papá salió con un vaso grande de agua de cebada y pum, se los dio, pum, que tomaran agua de cebada, güey. Nice. Y eso se me quedó bien grabado because yo sé que aquí en este lado pues es un poquito diferente desde aquí la gente, pues los que trabajan en like picking up the trash or whatever, pues están sentados en la troca and all they press is the machine so they can throw
they don't even,
trash bins, right? Pero ya es, el vato se baja de la troca, agarra el bote de la basura, la avienta a la troca y pues es una chinga, güey, todo el día pasando por todas las calles y eso se me quedó grabado.
Bumpy ass roads y todo así,
y es sucio y todo ese jale. Mi papá, le dio su agua de cebada. Me acuerdo que el muchacho ese, se la aventó ahí, like, a gusto. Like,
sí, es que, te digo, yo when I was with my tío, es like, a veces no tenía ni hambre, güey, tenía sed. And granted, like, he was legit, like, took care of me.
Right.
Because, like, he knew, pues, era su sobrino. But I think there was times, too, where he kind of just pushed it a little bit to see, a ver hasta dónde aguantaba. Because I remember he would always say, órale, güey, yo estoy como un toro, mira. Just to pressure me, right? Yeah. And I was like, yo tengo sed. And I remember some of the houses, some of the people, I remember when we were working in Rancho San Diego. Or in El Cajon. No mames, pinche calorón de la chingada, güey. Yeah, certain people were... And you can't even talk about races here, but like güeros, árabes, whatever. Some people, they were kind enough to be like, it's hot outside. Here's a glass of water. Y hay gente que nos tenían coolers, güey, con el Gatorade y todo eso. Like, esa gente es consciente, güey. Pero había raza, güey, que ni la pinche puerta te abrían, güey. Like, just do that. Yeah. And when you're done, knock on the door. Y midday, like, hey, break. We go get a burrito and a Coke and water. Y dije, después digo que ahora lo veo y kind of pushed me like, no quiero, I don't want this to be my job. Like, I can't. If this is what, the stereotype or the stereotypical, look, así vas a chingar si no vas a la escuela. I was like, oh, hell no. I was like, this can't be it. Yeah. So that's why, choose different routes. But I think you as a person, going back to the dad theme, you can't say that you are who you are just based on one person. Way. I think you heard the saying, it takes a community to raise a child. Yeah. I think that's what it is with us, way también. Like, I can't tell you that I'm exactly like my dad. I can't tell you that I'm exactly like my stepdad. I picked up a lot from my stepdad. Yeah. But it's a combination of the family, way, the village that makes you who you are. Right. Y si te ponen las pilas, pues you do well. Yeah. If you don't, then there's always that duck in the family. But
yeah, and that's a good point, because that's exactly what happened with me. I had to pick up the good and the bad from people, from friendships, from my neighbors, from maybe teachers, like classmates. I would always look like, I don't like what this person is doing, or if this person is doing this is his outcome, right? So you start nitpicking, right?
You would see that. I was like, I don't want that for me.
Right. And I had a lot of friends that were in like gangs and things like that, and never understood that, or that in order for you to be part of that gang, you would have to get jumped, right? Now, after you get jumped, now you're facing problems, and it's just like, I don't want that for me, right? And regardless, even though I never got jumped, I'm like, dude, we're still friends, right? But I don't have to get jumped. I don't have to have that freaking lifestyle. So you bring up that good point, that it does take a village, to raise a child or whatever the case may be, right? But you start almost you start learning from all your surroundings and everybody that's part of your life. And hopefully you stay on the right track, because it's very, very easy to. That's why when they say that at times you can either make something an excuse for making a bad decision, or you can take whatever your experience was in life, right, and turn it around and make it into a positive outcome, right? Because at times, like yourself, right, you didn't have your actual father figure. Maybe I didn't get raised by my dad, right? Because whatever the circumstances are, right? But you can decide how your life, at least you can try to like stay on the right track in life, to not like go on the bad side of life, right? Mm-hmm. Because you can either easily say that, well, I didn't have my dad, so this is the reason why I did X, Y, and Z, right?
And I'm sure people that use that as an excuse. Yeah, I know plenty of people that use that as an excuse. Yeah. But I mean, I know I got, and they're gonna throw me under the bus for this. I got cousins, hasta en la propia familia, raised by dad and mom.
Yeah.
Both parents. And I'm not gonna say that I'm better than them, but I think I'm in a better place in life right now. And they have both parents.
Yeah.
So I don't know what it is. I think it's up to us to kind of pick the right path, whatever right might be for everybody's different, right? But te digo, quién sabe, güey. Dos papás y andan valiendo madre, y a veces dad's just in the picture, mom's gone, and legit, like, super smart, outgoing females, licenciadas y todo el pedo. Y luego tienes, single moms who bring up, just for sake of the conversation,
right,
abogados, doctores y la chingada. You're like, well, why? How come two people couldn't do that?
Right, exactly.
It's weird.
Yeah.
And
sabes que, and I want to get your take on this. When initially, Chelo, her family, even including myself at first, we all thought, the majority of people, we thought that we were going to be having a boy, right? Okay. Originally, we thought we were going to be having a boy. In my mindset, we didn't care, right, whether boy or girl, because, like I mentioned at the beginning of the podcast, we initially thought we were going to struggle to have a baby. We went through 2 miscarriages, so at the end of the day, just having a baby, like a healthy baby, that's our goal. Like, primeramente Dios, que todo salga bien. But initially, since we all thought it was going to be a boy, I'm like, oh, hell yeah, like, me va a ayudar a chingarle, like around the house and things like that, right? And I was like, hell yeah, like, so now I almost have like a helper, right?
Yeah.
In a sense, right? Because one, obviously I want to be that teacher similar to what you went through, right? Teaching him how to do this, teaching him how to do that, but at the same time, it's going to be a helping hand. But now that we found out that we're having a daughter, I'm like, fuck, why? Not in a bad way, but right. Now it's just like, damn, it increases the pressure of being even more of a man and even more of a father figure to, like, now I have to be the protector for this baby girl and protect her throughout life. We almost, like, does that make sense to you?
Yeah, but you would still protect your son.
Of course,
throughout life.
Yeah, of course.
But do you remember we had a conversation? I think when I found out that you were gonna be a dad,
yeah,
when the child was pregnant, que te dije que yo quería que tuvieras primero.
A ver.
Te dije, I would want you to have this first.
A ver.
¿Te acuerdas? I don't remember me telling you, boy or girl.
I don't remember.
I said I wanted you to have a girl.
Okay.
Because knowing your background and how we grew up, I told you, I was like, I feel like you would be a little too harsh on a boy.
Okay.
¿No te acuerdas?
No, güey.
Yo te dije, güey.
But why do you think that way?
Because you explain it yourself right now. You want a little mentor. It's an extension of you.
Right.
So si yo soy chingón y yo hice esto, tú vas a hacer más que yo, cabrón. And you start adding that little pressure on, unknowingly.
Right.
And I was like, no, a mí me gustaría, güey, que tengas una niña. Because you're a chicken heart.
Yeah.
Tú te quebras, güey.
Yeah.
Digo, si te llega una niña, una princesita, güey, y pa, quiero esto, ¿cómo chingón le vas a decir que no?
Yeah.
And it's like, you're going to learn to love her and condition her and bring her up and understand that no la puedes hacer como una extension of you because that's your little princess.
Right.
So she's going to kind of break you in. So yo te dije, me gustaría que tú tengas primero una niña, güey.
Yeah,
y ya después un niño, porque ya once she kind of breaks you in, pues ya el segundo, pues más fácil. Y okay, pues ya con la niña, I couldn't do this and that. Again, this is just me thinking out loud. Right. But for some reason in my head, I was like, I kind of wanted you to have a girl first.
Yeah.
So that, I mean, I want you to have a boy too, because you're on the junior and the extension, whatever. Pero dije, no, just kind of knowing your personality and because you're a go-getter, way. Yeah. So you're also, you're out there doing your best every day and sometimes I feel like our parents want us to finish whatever they didn't get to finish, and they kind of put that on you as the son or the daughter. But then you also have to remember that we all have our own life.
Right.
Yeah. So it's a little. I kind of felt that too from my mom to an extent. That's why I was like, no, it's crazy. Once you have kids, I don't have kids yet, but I'm like, it's crazy now to think back and be like, oh. She pushed me so hard for this because maybe she didn't get to it, or or my dad didn't get to it. He wanted me to do it.
Yeah, or I worked so hard to get us here, so now it's your turn to like continue moving forward and pushing the next generation.
Make
right?
it better,
yeah. And in a sense, you're right in what you were saying, right? Because now, I guess not necessarily bringing the pressure down for the baby girl, but I almost feel like, yeah, you're right. Now it's like, I'm not going to put this baby girl in the same position as if I were to have a boy, like, hey, well, help me freaking do all of these kinds of projects. Obviously, if she wants to learn, obviously, and I'm going to teach her things, but now I'm going to treat her like a little princess.
But see, right now you said, obviously, if she wants to learn.
Yeah.
Hace rato dijiste, no, pa' que me ayude.
Yeah,
it's a helper. Like,
for the baby boy, right?
Right. It's the mentality is like, no, güey, tú le vas a chingar.
It's
right?
true, yeah.
And it's like for the girls, like, si ella quiere.
But don't you see it the same way if you had a boy or a girl?
Yeah. Because, I mean, nowadays everybody gets criticized for everything, but la fuerza de una mujer, güey, nunca va a ser la fuerza de un hombre. Yeah. It don't matter. Like, intellectually, smarts, we're equal. Pero en fuerza bruta física, güey, un hombre siempre va a poder más. Probably, withstand a little bit more of everything. So, yeah, I would never... And I feel like I'm the same way with my sisters, güey. A mi hermano lo ayudo un chingo, but I also let him do his thing.
Right.
And my sister's like, oh, I need this. I voy en chinga. Because I don't expect them to know. I don't expect them to go through that.
Right.
To that, physical labor or whatever. Or I just simply wanted to... I wanted whatever it is to get done right. Y si yo lo sé hacer, pues yo lo hago.
Right.
Y con mi carnal no, güey. Malamente. Y le digo, pues voy para acá. Le dije, no, bro, do this. Oh, I'm going to do it. Pues hazlo. So it's like, okay, well, that's, you're a guy. You can tough it out.
Yeah.
Y con las niñas no. Con mis hermanas no. Yeah. But digo, yo lo hago. I see it with my sisters and my brother. Que no lo hagas con un hijo, güey.
Sí, man.
Yeah. Crazy.
So you see it the same way.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it just now it's just like como quien dice, like, fuck, le debo que seguir chingando hasta más todavía. La verdad, güey.
Yeah,
it's just like,
girls are expensive.
Yeah.
But te digo, that's upbringing, güey. O sea, porque think about it. I've always known, because my sisters son la España, todo, hair, nails, all that stuff. And just remember, 15 years from now, 16 years, tienes una quinceañera, güey.
Sí, güey.
Y la fiesta y la feria, girls are expensive.
Yeah, definitely. Y sí pensé todo en eso, like, fuck. Yeah.
You always were like, ¿por qué no tuve un niño? No, pero es lo mismo.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's like, sí, güey. Y desde now, y como dicen, güey, there's no... Para una niña, güey, you're always going to be like, like dad, right? Like, como daddy's little princess type of thing. And obviously for son también, they almost look at you as their hero, or at least that's the way that I would want my kids to look.
To perceive you.
Yeah. Look at me as such, right? So I'm always going to strive to be that good example, to be that good father figure. But yeah,
I think as long as you're around and set a good example, way that you can achieve that. Te digo porque mi mamá, my grandpa passed away at 88 a couple years ago. Y to the date, my mom still remembers him. So my grandpa was everything for my mom. Mm. And he was a very hardworking gentleman. So I was like, I don't think she wanted any less for me and my brother. I was like, porque traía esa escuela de que mi papá albañil y trabajó toda su vida y trabajaba en el campo y huerta y todo eso. It's like, if my dad did it, my kids got to do it. And they go, to this day, my mom always brings up like life lessons about her dad. No tanto, o sea, mi abuelita también, mi abuelita todavía está viva, pero para mi mamá, su papá. Su papá. And I was like, it's when the dad is around, and I don't know if you've had conversations with a lot of females, when the dad is around, most of the time, the girls kind of look up to the dad. Mm-hmm. Well, that's what my experience is. Como el papá está acá bien chingón. Mi papá hizo esto, mi papá me traía esto. He bought me this, he did that for me. And I was like, dude, that's dope.
Oh, okay. Kind of like putting the dad in a pedestal.
Yeah.
And kind of like, well, this is what he did for me, so so what's up? Right?
Well, now I'm taking care of him. Or like, the mom's still good, pero como que el papá lo suben más.
Oh, okay.
And I've always noticed, I was like, well, that's kind of jacked up. I was like, the mom went through labor and did all this stuff and the upbringing, pero como que se le da más crédito al papá.
Really? Mm-hmm. But that's from a baby girl's...
From a girl's perspective.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. Because I feel like it's always the opposite of that. The mom is the one that gets all the praise. Right? Por ejemplo, es lo que dicen siempre, right? That el Día de las Madres, que las flores, que los regalos, right? And they always, even the people have this joke, right? That al papá siempre se lo olvida. Like, hey, like, es el que mantiene los biles, que la luz, que el agua y todo, y siempre se olvidan del papá, right?
Sí.
So you think that's not the case?
Well, it depends. Yo digo que it's the involvement that dad has, way. Because you could just be there. Dude, I'm thinking about like my stepdad way. Dude, he was always there. He always took care of bills.
Right.
He financially, boom. Yeah. Like, no hacía falta nada. When he was around, no hacía falta nada. And me preguntas, pues sí, tengo buenas memorias de él y todo eso. Pero al final del día, the one who spent the most time, and this is probably why moms get praised more. Going to the soccer games, going to the baseball practice, going to cross country. Going to meets when I had to, in Claremont. ¿Quién me llevaba? Mi mamá. Mm-hmm. You forgot something? At school, ¿quién le hablabas? A tu mamá. Mamá, se me olvidó pinche tarea. Mamá, se me olvidó la mochila. Mama, I forgot I had soccer practice. Bring my training bag. Ahí va la mamá. She finds time to, I don't make it happen, but she makes it happen. And I think the dad is more of a, pues yo no sé. Dile a tu mamá.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's like, I think when the dad is really present, financially and emotionally, you get the praise way. You get the praise because it's we're just raised different way. We're different. I feel like Mexicans in general, we're not raised to show weakness or emotion way. Yeah. Because it's seen as being weak. Yeah. I think we talked about this. Like, uno casi no llora, no puedes llorar, güey. Yeah. You're not supposed to because you're being a bitch.
Yeah, but look at what happened with you in ayahuasca, way.
Yeah.
¿Qué pasó, güey?
Shit made me cry.
Yeah, you cried a lot, right?
Fucking 2 hours, I couldn't stop crying, and it wasn't even like I was bawling out. I was just like tears, way.
Yeah.
Tears and sobbing. And, I was like, that's what I needed. I needed to let go. But I think in my head, you cry, you're weak.
Yeah.
And it's bad. It's a bad mentality to have. But in my house, I never saw tears from my dad or from my stepdad. It was always like, guys can do it all. Y chingate, and do it. Not even from my uncles. I don't think I've ever seen any of them cry.
Yeah, but it's all that bottled up emotion that you have inside. That I had inside.
Now I feel like I'm more open about like my feelings, expressing. Oh, esto no me parece, esto sí, or let's talk about this. Before it was just tough it up and move on. That's it. But yeah, te digo, it's takes a village, right? Takes a village, and I think when we get older, you kind of nitpick what you think is good for you,
right?
When you were coming up, and that's kind of what you want your kids to be guided towards too.
Yeah.
Okay. y te va a pasar, güey, como le pasó a tu mamá o a tu papá. Hey, no quiero que te juntes con este cabrón. It's a bad influence. And what do?
Yeah.
We still sneak out, go fucking parties, breaking, Well, no, we didn't break into anybody's house, but we're partying in random people's houses at 1, 2 in the morning.
Sí, güey.
¿Tu mamá hubiera querido eso? No. ¿Mi mamá hubiera querido eso? No, pero ahí andamos. And then that's when you start conditioning your kid. Este güey sí, este güey no, esta muchacha sí. Pero va a volver a pasar, güey. The same thing our parents did to us.
Right.
Because we think we know what's best for them. You're going to try and do it for your daughter.
Yeah.
And so on and so forth. So.
But I feel like there's no better teacher than you live and you learn. Right?
Yeah.
Because at times, even though you are getting the best advice from whoever person it is, no matter if you already know the answer, you have to go through it in order for it to make sense for you or to finally understand it and make a change for your life.
And it doesn't happen. The one thing I've learned lately, the past couple of years, was like it doesn't happen right away.
Yeah.
Pasa tiempo. Like the lesson that was something you went through something today, you might not even get the meaning of that lesson until maybe a year down the road.
Yeah.
Que dices, oh, no manches, me acuerdo de esto y por esto me pasó.
Yeah.
But now I know better.
Yeah. And to wrap it up, Chris,
yeah.
if you had your dad here, if you had one last thing that you could tell your dad, or if your dad is here listening, maybe in the spiritual realm, what would you tell him? Or ask him? I know that initially you said you would ask him that, but what would you tell him right now?
See, that good question. But I've thought about this, and it's like I'm not mad at him. I'm not resentful, because he was good. He was a couple good years, and they were good years, and I have good memories of him. But then he left, and he kind of went MIA, right? And he was gone for a good solid, for the rest of my life, since I was like 17, kind of going through high school. Up until now, you're talking more than like almost 20 years now. So he was there for the good, but he was also gone for the bad. So I can't really... Qué bueno que se fue y no aprendí nada malo de él. I only had good things about him. But I wish he would have been there for more life experiences.
Yeah.
But now that obviously that's, it's all gone, I would just want to ask him, like, how come he didn't reach out? How come he didn't reach out? I mean, we're in the turn of the century. Like, there was Facebook back then. No, MySpace. O sea, quién sabe si sabías algo también le voy a dar, no sé, pero, we're in the turn of the century. All technology was available. Cell phones started coming out. You could text people. You can call them. You can send a message on everything. Like, why? Why didn't you reach out? Like, I wasn't expecting hijo, I'm sorry, or whatever. I was like, hey, maybe, ¿cómo estás? Or like, hey, you want to come over this weekend? Or I'm let's meet up in San Diego, or let's meet up here in LA. No. But I wouldn't. I can't say I'm mad on him. I don't know why he did it.
Yeah.
But like, luckily I have nothing but good memories. And then it's like a blank tape, güey. O sea, ni bueno ni malo.
Sí, güey.
So I was like, why? How come you didn't reach out? That's the only thing I would want. Like, I don't know, como hablamos al principio, güey, que le dio vergüenza, or he didn't know what to say, and he didn't know how to start the conversation. But it takes a simple, I don't know. I would say, though, that gracias a esto, I to an extent, I never want to be like my dad. And I had this conversation with you.
Yeah.
De que mi papá fue teniendo una vieja y familia. O sea, dejó hijos tirados. That's the one thing I told myself. I was like, I would never do that, because I don't want to be like my dad. And not that he was a bad guy, but I don't want to leave that absence that he left in me.
Yeah.
De que no estuvo, güey. Good ass memories as a kid, but as I grew older, he was MIA. So I was like, my question is, why didn't you reach out to him? That's the only thing. I would have want him to. A la mejor en un pinche sueño, güey, se me dice.
Yeah. Hey, you never know.
Tu mamá me iba a madrear.
Yeah.
Pero that's it, bro. Like, no. Pues en paz descanse mi papá. No, I don't have anything against him. And, I am who I am. I'm half him, half my mom. I can't deny it. So he obviously did something right, but he wasn't there to reap the benefits out of it. Y pues su otra familia, pues quién sabe. Ever since he passed away, we haven't been in touch. So
it's crazy. So something so simple, right? But yet again, I guess difficult at the same time.
Yeah. And it's like I don't want to have family spread out like he. I don't even have. He probably already had 5 kids in by the time my age, but I was like, I think that's another thing why I've been so picky about just randomly having kids, güey.
Yeah.
Like, como empezar a hacer nomás chamacos a lo güey, but no. Because I had that life lesson from him.
Sí, güey.
Indirectly, I was like, aprendí eso de él y es algo que no quiero o que no he querido.
Yeah.
So, te digo, maybe the bigger lesson from him, even though he's not around, is to not be like him.
Yeah, to not follow those footsteps.
To not follow. Yeah, and si te pones a pensar qué te dijo tu papá o qué le dijo a Chelo.
Yeah.
Break the cycle.
Yeah.
Break the cycle. Don't do it again. Who knows?
Yeah.
You too? Let me interview you now.
For me,
I gotta say though, like, I'm sorry to interrupt you. Like, Don Mike, porque yo le decía a Don Mike, ¿no? Yo sí, o sea, todo lo que me cuentas, I know a lot about your history with your dad, pero sí que te hablaba yo siempre, qué chingón. Like, I wish my dad would have had a better approach at reaching out. Te digo, especially because technology was there.
Yeah.
¿Entiendes? If your dad was allá en Sinaloa, no sé si pagaba por cobrar, o sea, llamaba por cobrar o lo que sea, pero he made the effort.
Yeah.
Y eso se aprecia un chingo. Dude, my dad is 2 hours away.
Yeah.
I'm sure he had cell phones and a beeper or lo que sea. He didn't make the effort.
Yeah. You know, sorry.
No. And I was like, cuando alguien quiere, güey, se nota. That's bottom line. Cuando alguien quiere, se nota. So it's like, my dad didn't want to. O sea, no, you can't tell me que por miedo a mi mamá, o por miedo a su pareja, his actual wife at the moment, or his kids. I don't know. He could have sneaked out and be like, hey, estos güeyes se enojan if I call you, but ¿cómo estás? He didn't do any of that. So it is what it is. But that's it. ¿Tú?
Before I get to that way, there's something that I was thinking about that right now. I think you mentioned something that kind of like, fuck. I wish I would have had this podcast before a couple years earlier. Why? Because I wish I would have had an episode with my dad. Like, just to have a conversation between me and him, documented and recorded. Why? Because it's going to be very hard to have footage of him for my daughter.
Yeah.
And like, I wish I would have had this like a little bit earlier, so I can have a conversation, like just recorded, like just the dialogue between one another. I wish that would have been documented.
Do you not have any like videos of him or?
Sí tengo unos, güey. Gracias a Dios sí tengo unos vlogs and videos así, güey. But a full-on conversation, güey, para agarrar to capture their personality, güey.
Just, yeah.
To capture the personality.
The way that you knew him, the way that he talked to you.
Yeah, the way he joked around and cositas así, güey. I remember one time I screen recorded a call because in my mind, I'm like, fuck, I want to capture his persona, his personality, the way he laughs, the way and I recorded it, but for some reason I think when you do that, I something about like WhatsApp or something.
The audio is not captured.
Yeah,
it's just the video footage.
Yeah, the audio wasn't, and at that point I didn't know, and I was like, fuck, it broke my heart because I'm like, fuck, man, I wanted to capture that. I luckily I do have a couple of videos of him and stuff like that, and where he's talking and things like that. So I have that documented, which I'm so grateful to have that. But for me, I think the biggest thing that I would tell my dad would probably be that, like, I hope I'm making you proud, right?
Oh, okay.
I don't know why that it comes into mind, right? But it's just like, I hope everything that I'm doing is to, I guess it's just like, hey, look at everything that I'm doing and I'm building because I want to like continue a legacy and your life and you bringing me into this world. It wasn't like in vain, right?
Okay.
So I think that would probably be the biggest thing, and I would just want to tell him. I don't even think I ever told him that I love them, right?
Okay.
He never told me. It was expressed, right? Through actions, through, like the way we talked. It was expressed, but I don't think we ever told each other that, hey, I love you. You know what I mean?
Because going back to our culture, we it's different. And it's tough because it shouldn't be that way, but very rarely.
Yeah.
I never got to tell I don't remember telling my dad I loved him.
Yeah.
Even my stepdad, I don't remember to this day, I don't think I've ever told him that I love him, güey. And I love the guy. He was there for me during like my upbringing, and the one person I tell I love a lot is my mom. But it's kind of like a given. And not to take away from your conversation, but I mean, I got to meet your dad, and oh man, I think he's I'm pretty darn sure that he's proud of you. You've come a long way.
Yeah,
like we've known each other for a long ass years, and you've done well. I don't see how any parent, male or female parent, would not be proud of what you've accomplished. So, I mean, I could tell you miss him. Yeah, and that's the burden of having a dad who's there, güey.
Yeah.
Te digo, tú tienes esos recuerdos, tú los extrañas, güey. Maybe a conversation with him, or Angelito, ¿cómo estás? Or whatever. I don't have that from my dad. Y la neta, no me duele, güey. Se escucha culero, pero no me duele. I don't miss him. I can't miss somebody who wasn't there.
Yeah.
Te digo, and it's like, I feel for you, but I don't have, ¿cómo se dice?
Like you can't relate,
it's
right?
the sympathy versus the empathy. You know, I have sympathy for you, but I can't empathize with you because I don't have that. I don't have that bond with my dad. They go, but he'd be proud of you, man. Just you're doing the right thing, Angel.
Yeah.
They go, pues, you know, they go, you might not have a lot of this is a whole different subject, way that we can talk about in a different podcast, way, pero la razón de la que uno tiene parejas o tienes papá o quieres alguien en tu vida, güey. There's people in your life. I feel like God or destiny or the universe puts people in your life because these people are a record of your life. They're a living proof of your life. How do you know about your dad's life? Porque alguien te lo contó. Yeah. Right? How do you know about your mom's life? Porque alguien te lo contó. Tus tías, tus abuelos, lo que sea. Same thing with grandparents. Quizás algún día, all the shit that you and I did, and like, se lo voy a contar a tu hijo o a tu hija.
Yeah.
They weren't there.
Yeah.
They weren't there. So what are we doing? We're creating memories for our future generations. We can't capture it all. But someone in your inner circle was there and lived it with you.
Yeah.
And they'll be that living proof of how that person was. Y gracias a Dios, a mí me tocó convivir con tu papá la vez que andamos allá.
Yeah.
De que andamos en la playa con el no me acuerdo ni cuál playa fue, pero
Maviri.
Maviri. Llegamos, mariscos, el norteñito, güey, conviviendo.
¿Cómo nos recibió, güey?
En la palapa, güey.
Cuando llegó en su carro, abrió su trunk.
Ya traía el ceviche listo, güey, con tostadas. Hey, ¿qué onda? Vamos a una chévez. Y te digo, eso yo lo viví, güey, no está grabado.
Sí.
And you can tell it to somebody, but how do you prove it?
Yeah.
I'm living proof of it.
Yeah.
So te digo...
Sí, él había hecho ceviche y ya lo había preparado.
Sí, llegó.
Para cuando llegáramos, comiéramos.
Luego. Yeah. Fuimos a la playa. Y luego después de ahí... Pues ahí nos estuvimos un rato, ¿no? I think we did a live. There might be a live from that event. There's a video, I think. Or you might have had a video.
Yeah.
There's got to be a recording. I think I saw a recording.
From the game?
No. From cuando estábamos ahí en la playa.
Oh, yeah. Sí, tengo videos.
Hay de eso.
Yeah.
Luego ya fuimos a la casa. Comimos ahí. No, cenamos por fuera.
Yeah.
And then the next day fuimos a juego.
Simón.
Right? Because we got up and I don't know what the hell we were doing the whole day. Allá mirando casacas, las camisas y todo eso. And then you went and got the tickets because you wanted your dad to go.
Yeah.
Pinche estadio todavía no estaba ni terminado, but it was the inauguration of it.
Yeah.
But we went to that. Y tu papá andó con nosotros todo el tiempo.
Simón.
Y las pláticas, cuando estábamos afuera, echando papitas.
Yeah.
You know, sitting on the steps outside the house, you know, beer.
Yeah.
No me pues sí me decía Chris. Pero yo le decía, Don Mike. ¿Qué onda, Chris? Otra, te traigo otra. Fuimos a la esquina. I remember we went to get caguamas with him.
Yeah.
Right? So we came back. And then we, you know, then the trip to the airport, güey. Que se nos calentó el carro, también me acuerdo.
Yeah.
Y te dije, no te agüites, güey. You know, pero tu papá, chinga, güey. He was determined to get us where we had to get.
Es la cosa, güey, de que él...
made it happen.
Yeah, él siempre supo moverle a sus carros, güey. Siempre.
Sí, te digo, pero pues he made it happen.
Yeah.
Y te digo, that's your dad showing como esto. You didn't tell him he loved you. Oh, he didn't say he loved you verbally, but his actions showed you that he loved you.
Yeah.
Like, he wanted the best for you.
No.
Yeah. But te digo, pero everything we lived through, who do you have a recording of it?
No, not everything.
It's up here.
Yeah.
And I saw it. I'm a witness to it.
Yeah.
But they will, you, the people in your circle, they're living proof of your life.
Yeah, true.
Your life partner, tu esposa, tu novia, güey. Whatever, si fueron 3 años o 4 años o toda una vida, güey. She is a recording of witness of your life.
True.
Yeah. Pero sí, güey, pues te digo, things are different now. Like, going still, you wish you would have done this 3 years earlier to have a recording.
Yeah.
No pasó, güey. Pero
quédate
con lo bueno.
Sí.
And he's good. You're good.
Yeah.
I'm sure he's proud of you. Pretty darn sure he's proud of you, actually.
Yeah.
Pero sí, güey.
All right, Chris. Well, thank you. We appreciate it. Come more often, way. Let's do it.
I will. And
it's especially that you've been part of like many years from back then, way. So you know like a lot of the stories and all that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So yeah,
a lot of good stories that we can talk about in another podcast.
Definitely. So thank you. We appreciate it.
No, thank you for inviting me back. And before you cut it off, congrats again on being a dad, way.
Yeah.
Te digo, yeah. Maybe next time we meet up for a podcast, we'll estar aquí, güey.
Yeah. Yes.
Pause it. Let me feed the bottle.
Yeah. Maybe by the time this one goes up, which will be next Wednesday, maybe the baby's already here. We'll see.
Sea lo que sea, congrats y que Dios te ayude y los ayude porque it's a blessing, but this is a lifetime commitment from here on out.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, if you guys made it this far, comment the man emoji. So if you guys made it this far, comment the man emoji. That way I know who made it to this point of the podcast, to the very end of the podcast. Once again, my name is Angel Houseman. We have Chris. Like I always like to say, it's a greater risk not taking a risk. We only live once, make it a good one. Don't ever live your life with that what if, because you never know. You could have probably changed your life if you would have just not been shy enough. I've not been, too scared to take that to take that risk. Just do it, go for it. And at the end of the day, time passes by and nobody really cares. So just do it for yourself. Do it for the best of your family.
That's right.
Cool. All right. Till next time.
Like and subscribe.
Yeah.
Next time.